Hey there! So this is my nail polish picks for the winter / holiday season, and once again I'm upstairs in our storage room just because my room is still being in the process of being cleaned and it's getting reorganized, and I'm trying to create up a new setup for when I film videos. So I'm not going to be in there for at least another week or so to film videos just because I really want to reorganize everything. But anyway, in terms of my nail polish picks, I broke it up into 4 categories. So I have warm reds, minty greens, deep jewel tones, and frosty shades. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the warm reds. The first one I have is by OPI and it is called Diez Reflection. And this is part of their designer series, so that's why it's called Diez Reflection. And it's sort of like a cranberry red. It's quite shimmery, and it has a hint of gold to it as well. But it is very, very pretty on the nails. Looks very festive, and the gold really brings out the red, so it looks really pretty, especially for the holiday times. And then the next one I have is by Essie, and it is called In Stitches. So this is sort of like a toned down brick red shade, but when it dries it has a little hint of brown to it, but I find it to be very flattering for the nails. It's a little bit neutral, but it still has that hint of warm redness to it, so it still looks very pretty on the nails. And then the last warm red shade I have is by OPI and it is called The Show Must Go On, and this is from the Burlesque collection from last holiday collection from OPI, but I really love this shade. It's very flattering on the nails. It's quite shimmery, but it's one of my favorite reds. Now, I don't really wear reds on my nails too often, but when I do, I pick up shades that are pretty similar to this one. So, The Show Must Go On by OPI. And so the next category is minty greens. The first one I have over here is by Essie, and it's called Mint Candy Apple. And I remember, I wasn't sure if it was like a year or a couple years ago, like this came out and everyone was like crazy about it and it was sold out for a long time, but I think Essie made it part of their permanent line, so I was able to pick this up I think a couple months ago. But this is one of my favorite minty green shades, and this is sort of like a lighter, like a more of a creamy minty green shade. And then the next one I have is by Nicole by OPI and it's called My Lifesaver, and this is from the Justin Bieber collection. This one is a little bit more blue tinted than Mint Candy Apple, so if you can see them side by side, it's a little bit more bluish. It's a little bit deeper too, so if you have a little bit deeper toned skin like me, this works a little bit better. I only wear Mint Candy Apple on my toes because I think it's a little bit too bright for my skin, but I do wear My Lifesaver on my nails pretty often, so I really like this shade, especially for the holiday season. And then the last minty shade is called Mint Apple, and it's by Sinful Colors. And this one is even deeper than both of those two. It's sort of like a minty green, but it's sort of like a jade minty green. And then it has a swirl of glitter to it, so it's really pretty, really flattering on the nails. And I actually picked this up because my friend Erica, she had it on her nails a couple of weeks ago and it was like gorgeous. And she's about the same skin tone as me, so I figured that it would be a really good nail polish to pick up just because it looked really good on her, and so I figured it would look good on my nails as well. So I really love this shade by Sinful Colors. And so the next category is the sort of deep jewel tone shades. So the first one I have is by Zoya and it is called Irene. And this is sort of like a metallic, dusky green shade. It's a little bit sort of like emeraldy. It's really pretty. I was kind of apprehensive to buy it at first because I thought it was going to be streaky, because a lot of metallic nail polishes tend to be streaky. But this one is very smooth, the formula was very nice, and it dried beautifully. So I really love this shade by Zoya. And then the next one I have is also by Zoya and it is called Cheryl. And it's a black-based, sort of like a ruby shade with hints of like gold to it as well. It's really pretty. I saw swatches of this online before I bought it, and I was totally convinced. So it's a little bit sort of like a burnt brick shade, but it's also very ruby toned as well. So it's really pretty. Very jewel toned, but in a very subtle way. So I really like this as a good, sort of like a warm red shade. Different from the other ones that I mentioned a little while ago, but I really love this shade by Zoya. And then the last sort of deep jewel tone shade of nail polish for my picks for the winter is Beetle by Hard Candy. And so this one is a little bit, it's like a duochrome between sort of like a greenish gold and a purple. But in a lot of lights it looks very purple, so I figured it would be really really suitable for the winter time. It works in a lot of skin tones, and in most lights, since it looks purple, purple is a very universal color, so it will work really well for a lot of different people. So I really like that shade by Hard Candy. And then the last category I have is the frosty sort of nail polish shades. And so the first one I have over here is by OPI, and it's called I Want to Be a Lone Star, or I Vant to Be a Lone Star. And this one is from the Texas collection, I believe. And I like this because it's sort of like a pale frosty blue shade, but with a hint of gray to it. So I feel like it's really different from a lot of different nail polishes that I have, but it's really pretty because it's frosty, but it doesn't look like white out on your nails. Because a lot of times, like lighter frosty shades can just kind of look like you have white out on your nails, or you just kind of, it doesn't look flattering. But I really like this one just because of the tint of blue and gray to it. It just makes it look really pretty on your nails. And then the other frosty nail polish shade that I picked out is by MAC, and it is called Soiree. And this came out, oh, I always forget the collection this came out with. But I really love this shade. It's sort of like a rose gold. It's described as a rose gold shade, but in a lot of lights it just kind of looks like sort of like a champagne sort of shimmery color. But it's basically really glittery, and I find it to be a really nice finish for a frosty nail polish. I don't wear this on my fingers. I would only wear this on my toes just because it's a little bit too flashy for my taste, but I feel like it's a really appropriate color for the holidays or for like the winter time, just because it just adds a little bit of color and brightness to your nails. So I really like this shade by MAC. And that is pretty much it for my nail polish picks for the winter time. I know over here in Hawaii it doesn't really get that cold, but I thought I'd be a little bit festive and throw on a scarf for you guys, even though it's like blazing hot. But if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments, and let me know what your picks are for the winter / holiday season. If you guys are wondering about my eyes, I used the new Urban Decay Naked 2 palette for the whole eye look, and I'm like absolutely in love with this. So I'm probably going to be filming a video on this sometime soon, in case you guys were wondering. And then I have swatches of all of these nail polishes, so I'm going to try and take pictures of them if you guys are interested in seeing swatches, and then maybe I'll include them at the end of this video, or I'll have it linked down in the video description so you guys can get a better look at all of these shades that I mentioned. Oh, what's on my nails this week? I have DS Classic by OPI, and on the other nails is Yara by Zoya. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!